it's Rachel with Yarn and Play Crochet. So I thought I would just do a video to give you guys kind of a rundown about how the past few days have been. So if you can see what I'm wearing now, this is a little shrug that I made on my adding knitting machine over the span of a day. It is 4 tubular panels that I seamed together, and then I crocheted an edge, just a straight edge, single crochet edge on there. I did not get the side done. So, bit of a backstory. My husband works for Churchill Mortgage. I don't know if you've heard of them or not, but he's a loan officer with that company. And so the COO of that company was in town today, and he did an event for my husband's branch, and I was able to go. I had childcare set up, so I was able to go to the event in the morning, and then this afternoon we had another little shindig get together with another person from corporate, so that we could just hang out and have a good time and kind of just chit chat and talk about like goals and things like that. So I was able to go to both of those events, which was super fun. My husband has worked a bunch of different jobs over the years, mostly delivery positions. And so the fact that we are able to go out and just kind of enjoy ourselves and be able to kind of talk things through and be at like sponsored events from the company is a completely kind of new thing for me, especially since COVID. He started at Churchill after COVID hit. And so he's been there over a year, but it still just feels very different to be able to go out and about and do corporate events. So we did that today. That's kind of how my whole day was spent. We had the event in the morning and then the event in the evening. My parents were very gracious and watched all of my kiddos for me. And so I was planning on making this. I made this yesterday. I worked it up in a day. And I was planning on wearing it today. The only thing that I didn't get done was just basically sewing in my tails and getting that last crochet edge done here. But it was a really warm day today. And so I decided last minute to wind up wearing something that was a little thinner and lighter for my cardigan instead of this, which was a little bit thicker and warmer. Even though it's a short sleeve shrug, it still was just going to be a little warm for today. So, but I made this in the last 24 hours. I feel like that's a good project to have knocked out in a 24-hour span. It's just a rectangle that got seamed together. Super duper simple. And this would be a very easy thing to do even as crochet and not just knit. You probably wouldn't be able to get it done in a day if it was crochet. But it'd be a very simple project. If you just wanted to work a rectangle according to the measurements that you were interested in making it, and then seaming the corners so it turned into a little shrug, be a very simple project to do. Super easy way to make yourself a garment, a cardigan, for just yourself and to be cozy or to go out with. So I thought that was super fun. I also have this to show you, which is my accidental Slytherin blanket. I call it that just because it is in the silver and green. It is, oof, it's good size. Okay, my camera is not backed up enough for you to see the full size, but if you can kind of see how that looks there, and it is a total of, so that's the length, and then it is a total of 6 panels wide, so you can get an idea of what the width is there. And then I just took the time to fringe the edge in the same color that I seamed it in, and I am super duper happy with that. You can kind of see the seaming color there that I did. So it's this really pretty light green and silver with the dark gray seaming. On the other side, there is no seam line. I mean, there is, but it's It's grafted together. So you can see how there isn't like an actual like crochet seam there in the same way that there is on the other side. So that's a fun finished object that I have. This is for my daughter, Rosie. She's my oldest. She claimed it. This is hers. She's very excited about it. I'm really excited about it. It's gorgeous and it's super squishy and cozy. And I really, really love it. I do, like, genuinely, this is one of the blankets that I'm happiest with in making it super squishy and soft. I have a caveat. My only caveat is the yarn that I worked this up with. I have such an intense love-hate relationship with this yarn. Like, I just do. Like, there's no way around it. Who wants to guess what this yarn is? It's Big Twist Value from Joanne. I want to love it. I really do. But can you see? Oh, you probably can't see. You see that pilling? Maybe a little. It's kind of hard to tell on camera. This thing, it's a week old. 1 week. And it's not just one or two. Like, it's fuzzing out, pilling like crazy. I really hope you can see that, because it is all over every single panel. And I have not washed this. Not even one time. This has not been washed. It has never entered my washing machine. And no matter how much I love it and how squishy and soft it is, I can't handle that. Can't do it. My husband, who is not a yarn head by any stretch of the imagination, he is not a yarn person. Even he said, "Hey babe, why does this thing have all these fuzzies on it? Why?" I have no answer for him. Besides the fact that it's just, it is a yarn that no matter how good of a deal in it that I can get, which I can get a pretty stinking good deal, I'm never going to be in love with. I want to be in love with it. I really do. It's softer than Red Heart. It's more affordable than Red Heart. But no matter how many times I work with it, crochet or knit, I'm just never going to be in love with it because of the way that it wears and the way that it pills. Which honestly makes me really frustrated, because I feel like there was a possibility to knock this out of the park, and it's just not. It's just not. It is a good charity yarn. Look at that. Do you see that edge? Can you see that? Maybe if I was up against a darker background. But either way, it's just, it's all over the place. Anyways, if you're going to make items to donate, this is a good yarn. I'm picky. I'm picky, you guys. I'm picky. I'm picky with my yarn. I can't feel good about it. I just can't. As much as I love this, and I love the way that it turned out, and I love the squish factor, I love the colors, I love that my daughter loves it, I will never feel good about this blanket. Not 100%. I will never feel 100% fabulous about this blanket because of the way that it is wearing after a week. I started this a week ago. Okay, I'm done. I'm all done. You guys have heard enough. Okay, anyways. Moving right along. I started this last night, and I showed you this in my video that I posted on Tuesday. I'm hoping that you can get a better color difference in these two purples today. So this is a light neutral purple and a dark neutral purple from Soft and Sleek Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. My plan is to turn this into a checkerboard blanket. It is the same rows. There's 4 rows difference between the one that I just showed you and this one. But this one, I'm gonna alternate rows and I'm gonna make this into a checkerboard pattern with these 2 pretty purples, and this is gonna be for my 4-year-old. And I made this, the Soft and Sleek is a low pill fiber acrylic. And at least right now, like it's looking really nice. You see this? You see that stitch definition? The fact that there is no wear and tear on that at all. And it is nice and soft. Now this is not a fuzzy soft. Okay, acrylics, I feel like you either get a fuzzy soft or you get a silky soft. This is a fuzzy soft and this pills. This is a silky soft and this is far more resistant to pills. That does not mean that this will not pill. I'm sure that given enough wear and tear, it will. They don't call it an anti-pill acrylic, they call it a low pill acrylic. But I do think that this will be more durable and that silkiness of this yarn should give it more wear and tear. I would be happy all day long with a blanket out of this. I would. I would be very happy with this. So I don't know. This shrug is made out of the same Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, just in a DK weight, so in a 3 weight. And this is the 4 worsted weight, which I will say for my knitting machine is a tad on the thick side. Not impossible, clearly. It works, and it comes up with some really beautiful even stitches, but this is about the max as far as thickness goes for yarn. And this yarn, they recommend on the label that you use a 6mm crochet hook. So I would say perfect yarn size for an Addy at least would be a 5.5mm crochet hook. That is what I say would be just perfect. This is not bad, but I would not go any bigger than this at a 6mm recommendation. And this worked up just fine as well. It was a smidge on the skinny side, but I did not have any realistic problems at all. And this hook size was a recommended 4.5mm. So that kind of gives you the range that you're looking at. If I were to pick out a perfect yarn, which I have yet to find a perfect yarn for my knitting machine, but if I were to pick out a yarn, I would say a 5.5mm would probably be just right. Thick enough to fill out the gaps, thin enough to not have any issues cranking the wheel. And hopefully whatever yarn you would choose would have a tight enough twist to not have any splitting issues on the needles of the knitting machine. That is my one issue with Simply Soft, Kieran Simply Soft on my knitting machine, is that I have had issues with some dropped stitches or some tucked stitches because on occasion, not common, but on occasion, the needles on the knitting machine do either tuck or drop stitches because it is a splitty yarn. There's no way around it. I have tried a super tight tension. I've tried a nice loose tension. I've tried pretty much every tension in between, whether it is crochet or on my knitting machine. Just no matter what I do, it's never gonna be perfect. So that's my thoughts on that. Anyways, I am gonna leave it there for right now. I am planning on continuing to work this up. And if you say, hey, those are not squares, Rachel, keep in mind that when I sew these panels together, the weight of the blanket is going to stretch them out horizontally more than they are now. So when you see this panel, you have to think, okay, it looks a little bit stretched out but this is realistically going to sit closer to this because the weight of the blanket is just going to pull that down slightly. So ideally it will look like squares. That's my plan. Anyways. Besides that, I am planning on having another yarn review up for you guys on Saturday. But yeah, show and tell time, telling you what I got going on here, telling you all the stuff I had involved with my week this week. It has been nutso over here, and it will be nutso again next week because that will be our first week back to school for my kiddos. But as always, I am hanging out with you guys. I am here, and I cannot wait to tell you all the details of my yarny projects and everything that I've got going on. So I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. And yeah, just keep stitching. Hang in there, friends. I can't wait to see what you guys are working on. All right, I'll leave it there for right now. Subscribe if you haven't done that. Like this video if you haven't done that. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.